Good evening. Welcome to this educational session on throwing events for middle schoolers. My name is Lisa Long. I have an 8th grader at Stonewall Jackson Middle School, and he has been on the throws team for the past 3 years and under the tutelage of Coach Arco. Just to let you know, have you ever worried about your child throwing a baseball through your window or hitting a car outside? Well, a baseball ball is about 149 grams. And now he's going to be throwing a ball that weighs almost 4,000 grams, excuse me. The only difference is that ball usually doesn't go as far. Just through my experience with my son on the track team, the research I've done, and talking to local experts, hopefully my knowledge will increase your understanding and you'll feel more welcome and feel more easily to come out on that field and help us with your son and daughter's track meets. Tonight we're going to go over the history of throwing in the world, review the types of throwing events, and discuss the 2 events that your child will participate in school, and the field, the equipment, and the events, and what are future rewards for the throwers. A little bit about history. Per Dr. Karen Carr, historically, the Greeks were the first people to engage in throwing events. They highly valued exercise, staying fit, and they felt that it was pleasing to their gods. They were very much into fighting and competing, and because of that, the Olympic Games were born. As far as throwing events, there are 4 types of throwing events. The first, Shotput, there's Discus, there's also a javelin throw and a hammer throw. In Hanover County and in all Virginia high schools, public high schools, your children can participate in Shotput and Discus. They cannot participate in hammer or javelin in public schools here in Virginia. It is not allowed. They consider those two types of equipment to be weapons out on the field, and that is why. But let's get back to the events your children are going to be participating in, and that is the Shotput and the Discus. This is the Shotput. Shotput for your kids will weigh either 8 pounds, 4K. They call it both things. This is what they'll use in middle school, and the girls will use continually through high school and college. The boys, they will be increasing in weight as they become older. This is the Discus that they'll be throwing. And the Discus, it is a 1K Discus that they throw in middle school. Girls will throw this all the way through. Boys, they have to go up to the 1.6K in high school and a 2K in college. The Discus can either be metal and fiberglass, or it could be a rubber Discus. Rubber Discus are mostly used in the training for throwers. They usually like the fiberglass and the metal Discus. For one, it has better flying characteristics. Also, the other thing is, Discus also advance as throwers become more skilled at their trade. The less expensive Discus usually are more forgiving to your beginner throwers and the types of throws they haven't perfected yet. But as they get more expensive, the Discus are less forgiving, so they have to be perfect in that throw. And of course, they go up in price as we go. The next thing, this is something that's optional for your beginner throwers, and that's throwing shoes. As Coach Bayek says, the smoother the bottom, the more advanced thrower. These are my sons. He's sort of an intermediate thrower, so he still has some ridges there. This is, of course, an optional thing. And the one, just to let you know, my son, his first year of throwing, actually wore his Boston Red Sox skate shoes all the way up to the national level to throw in. So these are very much optional, especially for your beginning throwers. Next thing to talk about is the field that they're going to be throwing on. In the Shotput event, they'll be throwing off a 7-foot ring. It'll have a white toe board at the front. The sector that they'll be throwing out in can go as far as it wants to go. But it's always, no matter where you measure it, it's supposed to be 34.92 degrees. The Discus field is the same 34.92 degrees, can go as far as we want, only the ring increases some. It's 8 foot 2 inches in diameter. There is no toe board. One addition also is a big netting and fencing that goes around them. That is mainly for your protection, because especially with your beginner throwers, and it happens with the advanced ones too, sometimes that discus gets let go before it's supposed to. And if you're standing back here, you better watch out if you don't have fencing or netting. A lot of people ask, what can your child do later on in life with this? Does it go anywhere after middle school? As they go along, once they get to high school level, there are scholarships available for the college level throwers. They're available to your child. The next thing they can compete in is the Olympics also. Just to let you know, kids that know how to throw this stick, the javelin, usually have better scholarships if they know how to throw it before they get to college. So that's something to look into also. In conclusion, just to let you know, you are welcome out on our field. We'd be glad to have you out there to measure. That throwing is a two-season sport. We have spring throwing and winter throwing. And the 7th graders at Stonewall can participate with the Lee Davis High School team in the winter for shot put throwing. Shot put and discus is a very disciplined and rewarding sport that can lead to much success in high school and can lead to more opportunities later on in life at the college and in the professional level. Thank you so much.